It's not the bike, it's the rider. You can't make it up that hill, that's because you suck. So when you lose all your excuses, you know, it's kind of like taking off your clothes. It's kind of like going nude in front of all your boys. Hey, what's up, man? Oh, ooh, look at that little bitty pecker. You may notice some of the places I've been riding. I got at least a couple people excited. When I was riding the other day, saw me riding down a dirt road and they got all excited. Probably not as excited as I got being back on dirt without having to get back on a dual sport. And I love dual sports. Do not get me wrong. I love dual sports. They just don't fit, and I really can't maintain a stable of bikes. In fact, that RT is going up for sale very soon. Wow, this is terrible. That's why that water truck runs up and down this road, because it's hard to see out here. The purpose of this short journey here is to go back up to the place where I stopped the other day. Fantastic freaking lake. Small little pond, really. It's probably a settling pond, but it doesn't matter. It's cool. It's high on my radar for a camping spot, and I think it would be great either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night. Just come up here and straighten out all my gear. The big thing for me is make sure, this is what I do every year before I get back on the bike for the first time after a long winter in storage. Get back on the bike, make sure all my gear's there, make sure it's all functional. What are we doing here? I don't remember doing this road the other day. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, back to that thing I was saying. This is the road that I was thinking about. Yeah, let's go ahead and go on down here, see how far I can go down on street tires. Yeah, I could turn this around a whole lot easier than I can turn that RT around. If I'd have seen this on the RT immediately, I'd have said, nope, not gonna do it. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit steep here, so I'm going to turn around. Just because I don't have tires, I'm going to struggle. I'm going to dump the bike, and the only reason I don't do this ride on this bike is the tires. And it's not really what I was planning on doing today. That's another thing. Although I am loaded pretty light, this would have taken me 5 minutes to do on the RT. Yeah, the dirt's relatively packed well, but it's got some loose rocks up in here, and I don't have a skid plate. So here's all my excuses. I love rattling off my excuses, and that's what I tell everybody. It's like, man, whatever you do, don't get one of those bikes, because they're very capable, and you know, the very capable bikes completely remove all your excuses. So sometimes it's good to have an excuse. So in other words, it's not the bike, it's the rider. You can't make it up that hill, that's because you suck. So when you lose all your excuses, you know, it's kind of like taking off your clothes. It's kind of like going nude in front of all your boys. Hey, what's up, man? Oh, ooh, look at that little bitty pecker. And you know, you can avoid that by having a shitty bike. I did that for years because I had a KLR. KLR, that keeps coming up a lot. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed riding that KLR. These trucks haul ass down this road. Yeah, there's my turn. There's my turn. I think that's my turn. I don't know. It's one of the turns. Yeah, so back to the KLR. I was actually considering getting another KLR. Just because they're freaking hardcore. They're just built like a tank. I mean, it's a Humvee. And it's as fast as a Humvee too, like 55 miles an hour. I was just watching DorkintheRoad's video this morning. He just put out a video about KLRs. And he was saying, yeah, you know, they're just not exciting, and that's pretty much it. They'll take you pretty much anywhere you want to go that's not hard enduro. Yeah, so this is the spot, and oh, it looks like there's a trail that goes down there. Let's see how far we can get on this. But yeah, I agree with him, except his top five list, the best things and the worst things. I probably agree with the best things, but the worst things he missed was suspension. As far as I'm concerned, that's the worst thing about the KLR is the suspension. You know, it makes a much bigger deal for somebody like me, somebody my size. Now, see, I would have struggled doing that on the RT. But yeah, I'm gonna compare this to a KLR, believe it or not, because like I said, I was shopping for a KLR as an alternative. But my God, they're not letting go of them. I mean, they're for sale, but they're ridiculous prices, like almost new prices for 10, 15-year-old bikes. And I saw this one, I was like, well, wait a minute. I could have a freaking awesome road bike, a touring bike that's also pretty good in the dirt, for the same price as the KLR. That's a freaking no-brainer. And you know, the test, as far as I'm concerned, for me coming up is, and I'm gonna have to wait. I don't want to spring this. You know, my gut instincts. I want to ride this thing like I've ridden that KLR. Well, no, I'm never gonna ride this like I rode that KLR, because I just about beat the crap out of that thing. I did. I'm trying to remember that trail. PoughKeepsie Gulch in Colorado. I did PoughKeepsie Gulch on the KLR. Basically, I just bounced down the hill.
Down the hill, because I would say it's 40 degrees, 45 degrees. It's ridiculously sharp incline, and these loose little baseballs that I'm riding on are not helping the situation. But anyway, it gets worse before it gets better, but then it evens out down here. And just nasty. The only thing nasty about this really is the incline. You can kind of see the incline I'm on here, and the loose rocks, and they're big enough to give you problems.
But that thing would have destroyed this bike, I'm pretty sure. Well, let's see if I can get down this one. Man, there's all kinds of stuff I want to do. Oh yeah, this is fine. Oh yeah, good. I don't know why I didn't explore this the other day. Probably because I was running out of time. The sun was going down, and I wanted to be reasonable about my time. Get out of the woods before it got dark. That's, you know. The guy that sold me this bike said, well, you know, it doesn't have crash bars and doesn't have the lights. It's like, yeah, I don't drop big bikes, or very rarely, because I'm a lot more conservative than I am on a dual sport. And lights, yeah, I don't drive much at night, so that's not really a big concern for me anyway. Hopefully this thing goes onto the other side of the lake, and maybe I'll have a good camping spot that's out of the way that you can overlook the lake. That would be cool. Yeah, man, this turned out to be a great day to get out here. I have been covered up. I've been wanting to ride, but I have been covered up with work. And, I mean, it's a good thing, because I spent all my money on this bike. Well, a lot of it. I don't want to say all of it. But I don't have a lot to travel, so. And that was not a concern before. I had plenty of money to travel. In other words, fuel and maintenance and food. That's pretty much all I need to travel. That's the money I need, but yeah, most of that is gone now. So it's good timing that I got this work coming in, but it's bad timing in that, man, I'm dying to ride. And I'm only riding today because I had to run some errands, and I got most of my work started today, and I'll try to finish a lot of it when I come back. Well, okay, well this looks like a really good spot. Just question is, where's the trees for my hammock? Does not appear there are any. And even if they were, they would be it would be pine trees, and they'd be closer to the tree line. I'm not sure I want to go closer to the tree line. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Yeah, so all this is stuff that I would have been, man, I want to go down there, but I don't. Let me take it back around and see what other options we have going out. Yeah, so I'm not a mud guy. Even with knobbies, I hate mud, because mud will fill up your knobbies depending on the mud you're running through. The mud we have here in the south, this greasy clay-based mud, it will mess you up. And I'm only saying this because I found out the hard way. The last bad crash I had was in mud. That greasy, slick mud. Yeah, I got a nice long titanium rod in my knee, from my knee all the way down to my ankle. That's what's holding me together. Titanium. Only the best materials for this body. I'm slowly building a bionic exoskeleton.
Looks good in S1. Roger. BCS arm switch is on. Okay, Victor. Landing rocket arm switch is on. Here comes the throttle. Circuit breakers in.
More. Better. Stronger. Faster.
Yeah, I'm just scouting out a place to hang. Alright, a little bit of a downhill. Yeah, I think we're probably done here. I want to feel better about getting myself in places. Yeah, imagine doing this on that freaking RT. I think it's probably got at least 150, 200 pounds on this bike. It feels like a big 650 pound whopper. Dude, that thing might be 700 pounds. I don't know. It's a big bike. I'll shoot an hour's worth of video or more, yapping at the camera, and if anything interesting pops out, I'll post it. Otherwise, it's a day like yesterday. Just a bunch of rambling nonsense. Nothing's connected, no single sentence, or no single topic. Yeah, it's good to have some kind of a consistency. Today we're going to talk about premarital sex. I don't know how long I have been bitching about motor vlogs. Probably since they started. I have been bitching about them. And, you know, I had a couple of buddies that did it. And I just didn't understand it. And I think I even told one of them, I just don't understand it. I don't get it. It's not my thing. I think that's how I said it. I tried not to be mean. It's just I don't understand. I don't understand. We're not talking about motorcycles. We're not talking about anything that's of interest. You know, it's a diary that you're on a motorcycle. And I try to stay away from shit like that, but sometimes stuff like that is interesting. I don't want to hear I don't want to hear a bunch of people whining. Now that's a pretty good spot. I gotta admit, that's a pretty good spot. Getting the bikes kind of out of the way there. There's trees to hang in. And this should be a good spot to watch the sun go down, I believe. Yep, Ah, that would be pretty epic. Let's go take a look, see what kind of road we're working with there. Now I got to ride out of here behind all those damn trucks that are running up and down the road, fogging everything up. I've got asthma, so my asthma does not like dirt, dust. Ooh, yeah, dude, this thing's poop. Yeah, that looks like definitely a four-wheel drive. So that would be something where I would get into this mess and go, oh man, yeah, I could get down it. It's just getting back up. It's always getting back up, isn't it? Like, that's not a bad slope, but that just right there where it kind of the road disappears, it drops off. Man, that's steep. That's like what is that? That's 90. 45, yeah, I'd say that's pretty close to 45, maybe 50. But yeah, I guess if you could get enough momentum, just come blasting up the hill. But yeah, without knobbies, if you're blasting, you're on the throttle, the rear end gets sideways. You can't control this thing. There's no grip. You can't get your grip back. Once you lose it, it's kind of like the front washing out. It's the same thing. Front washes out in the mud or the sand or the dirt or oil or water. You can't get it back. I mean, you see it all the time in MotoGP. You see the rear end, probably, I would say the rear end is probably more common in MotoGP, but the front washes a lot, especially when it's wet or there's oil on the track. You see the guys going down, they're in the turn, the bike keeps going straight, and they're sliding off the track with it. Yeah, I think this will be fine. I think the main thing is just getting the bike out of the way. Maybe coming in here late too. That would probably be a smart thing to do. Yeah, I wonder if Carl's gonna get the bike. Probably. He sure is acting like it. And I don't have anything to tell him not to. I mean, it's a F800 GS. It's a pretty cool bike. It's on my radar too, except freaking they want so damn much for them. Same thing, I could buy a brand new KLR for what they're asking for a 10, 15-year-old GS. So camping video next week, hopefully stay tuned. If you would like to help fund my journey across America and maybe into Mexico this year, I dropped some links below, so if you have a few extra bucks, you can buy me some fuel, tires, beer, coffee, whatever. And I'm also working on a merch store, so you can pick up a t-shirt, some stickers, a coffee mug. Anything helps a broke-ass moto nomad, so thanks for whatever you can do, and I'll see you in the next video.